that I used to do it from home. All right. The reason we are doing it today is that by Baba's grace, we have been invited to speak at the Delhi Meher Baba Mela, Meher Baba function. And I thought it would save my energy and time going and coming to the center, because tomorrow early morning we are flying off to Delhi. All right. So we are continuing with our reading of Eternal Calendar. This is date 31st of March, and this is the photograph. All right, go ahead.
When you love, you give. When you fall in love, you want. Love me in any way you like, but love me. It is all the same. Love me. I am pure, the source of purity, so I consume all weaknesses in my fire of love. Give your sins, weaknesses, virtues, all to me, but give. I would not mind even one falling in love with me. I can purify. But when you fall in love with anybody else, you cannot call it love. Love is pure as God. It gives and never asks. That needs grace.
All right. Baba has been harping on a few things all through his ministry. Number one is love. What we call love is totally different from what Baba calls love. In love, there is no thought of self. What am I going to get out of it? What is the payoff for me? All that is totally absent. And that is why at some place Baba had said, disinterested love is one of the highest forms of love, where you are not expecting anything. You are simply giving and giving and giving. So that is the meaning of pure love. Of course, even that is not pure love, because in pure love we say that it is only a gift from Baba that is given to us. When you love, you give. When you fall in love, you want. Most of us, when we say I love you and all that, Baba gives an example of a curry and rice. I think he used the word chicken curry or curry. Anyway, I say, oh, I love curry rice. So that means I am the lover, and the curry and the rice is the beloved, because I am loving curry rice. In the process of loving curry rice, what do? I consumed, I consume the rice and the curry and diminish or totally finish off my beloved. Baba says that is not love, because you are wanting something. Another example Baba gives is of a tiger or a lion hunting a deer. Baba said that is also a kind of love, that the tiger or the lion wants to devour the deer and makes that deer a part of himself. That is also, in a sense, a low type of love. But that is not love what Baba is talking about. Even in human love, between anybody, between even a mother and a daughter or mother and a son, there is some expectation in a very subtle form in the process of loving. And Baba says then that is not pure, unadulterated love. Even between husband and wife, even between brothers and brothers, brothers and sisters, we call it love. But of course, that is a part of love, because after all, everything is love only. But that is not the love that Baba is talking about. Baba says, when you love, you give. When you fall in love, you want. The moment we want something, the moment we have a certain payoff from loving, the moment we think, what is in it for me? Why should I do this? Am I getting something in return? Then that is not pure love. Love me in any way you like. That is what now Baba says. You can love me in any way you like. You call him a master-disciple relationship, fine. You call him head of my family, fine. You call him a very trusted friend, confidant, so to speak, fine. Where you confess everything to Baba, fine. You love me in any way you like, but love me. Baba has emphasized a lot of pressure on love. Three things, as I said in the beginning: love, selfless service, and unity of all life. That is what he has been, harping on throughout his ministry. It is all the same, whichever way you love me. Baba was so handsome, so, in a sense, vivacious, you can say, that the foreigners, when they came, the ladies, they actually fall in love with Baba at the physical level. Fall in love means he's so beautiful to look at, he's so handsome, he is so energetic, he's so, virile. So Baba says, in whichever way you want to love me, you love me. But love me. I am pure, the source of all purity. So I consume all weaknesses in my fire of love. When I use the word purity, many times initially I used to think it comes in terms of lust, in terms of sex or whatever it is. But that is not all. That could be one of the ingredients of purity. Not having that could be an ingredient of purity. But over a period of time, I felt that purity means selflessness. No self whatever, no self-centeredness, no selfishness. That is why Baba had said that all my actions at any given point in time are nothing but the outcome of my selfless love for each and every one in creation. So selflessness, I would equate it with purity that way. So Baba says, love me, I am pure, because he is selfless. He doesn't have anything. What will I get out of this? Because he is already all encompassing. He is everything and anything. The source of purity. So I consume all weaknesses in my fire of love. Give your sins, weaknesses, virtues, all to me, but give. Very important. Many of us, sometimes because of our own low self-esteem, for whatever we may have done in the past, it inhibits us, it becomes a hedge, it becomes a barrier for us to love Baba fully. Sometimes the thought comes, oh, I am not worthy of it. Now, no doubt, Baba loves me immensely, but I cannot love Baba because I am not worthy of love. I have done blah, blah, blah things in the past and all that. So Baba has been again harping on that, give me everything, give me all your sins, give me all your goodnesses, give me all your strength, but just give and give and give. Give would mean offer it to him. It is not your strength, it is Baba's strength. It is not your weaknesses also, it is Baba's weaknesses. So Baba says, give. In one of the savasas, Baba had said, that when I ask you to give me your troubles and your difficulties and your worries, what you do is that you pick it up from your head and bring it near my head, but you don't put it on my head. There is so much of preservation, self-preservation, self-identity with the problems and weaknesses and worries and all that, that creates a kind of a suspense. I am willing to take, but you are not willing to give. And therefore, Baba says, give everything to me, your sins, your weaknesses, your virtues, all to me, but give. I would not mind even one falling in love with me, because Baba had said that loving somebody and falling in love with somebody are two different things. When you have a pure love for somebody, you get emancipated from your shackles, from your bindings. But when you love somebody, you get more and more entangled in your bindings. So Baba says, but I would not mind even one falling in love with me, I can purify. But when you fall in love with anybody else, you cannot call it love. Love is pure as God. So the message here is that we speak of love so loosely, and that also is a kind of love, a lower degree. Like lust, for example, is nothing but love. Attraction is nothing but love. Devotion is nothing but love. Magnetism is nothing but love. So love starts all the way from the stones and metals and minerals, because the magnetic attraction is also a kind of love. You see, but Baba says there's nothing but love, but these are all different degrees, and the highest is pure love, which only can be gifted by God to us. It, sorry, is pure as God. It gives and never asks. Love gives and never asks anything in return. That needs grace. And that means that you cannot have that quality of pure love unless Baba's grace descends upon us. So that was 31st March. Any questions? Nothing. Now, as we all know, every time the month changes, we have a colored photo. This is just a color, yeah. A colored, a little longer, you can say, message. Yeah. So go ahead.
A journey without journeying. The succession of experiences that one goes through in the process of involution is called the spiritual path, and the going through them is likened to a journey. On one stage, you hear melodious sounds and music that enchant and overwhelm you. On another, you see wonderful visions in which most often you get lost. Such experiences are part and parcel of the great dream in illusion. The experiences are so innumerable and varied that the journey appears to be interminable and the destination is ever out of sight. But the wonder of it is when at last you reach your destination, you find that you had never traveled at all. It was a journey from here to here. The journey seems infinitely long while you're passing through the dream experiences of reincarnation and the six planes of involution until finally you merge into yourself to emerge as self. But the journey is, after all, no journey. It is simply the momentum of your urge to awaken from the dream and get established in the reality of the God state of infinite consciousness. To awaken means to consciously experience the sound sleep state of God.
See, we talk about the sojourn, or we talk about the journey. We talk about the evolution of consciousness from the stone state to stone metals, minerals, and then vegetables, and then worms and fish and bird and animal and human being. And once we become human being, we don't talk about evolution, we talk about reincarnation. That means you keep reincarnating in a human form, either man or a woman, Easterner, Westerner, rich, poor, healthy, sick, etc., based on the accumulated samskaras. And after a whole long period of such reincarnation, where our gross samskaras are shaken up, they are rarefied, they become thin, they become weak, and our consciousness now turns inwards, and we start the so-called involutionary journey. So after creation, there is evolution, then there is reincarnation, and now it is involution. It is also known as the path to God realization, when you step into the first plane up to the sixth plane of consciousness. So that is the involutionary path, and that is considered, the entire thing is a journey, but that journey was in the false awake state. Here it is considered as, it is also a dream. Sorry, this is also a dream, but Baba calls it a real dream, where you get enchanted by so much of music, so much of good sights, so much of smell, so much of power, so much of, you can do Riddhi Siddhi, we call it. You can do just about anything, but that also is a dream, that also is in illusion. And Baba had very beautifully said in one sentence that except for the experience of the I am God state, the Aham Brahmasmi state, Anal Haq state, Soham state, God realization state. self-realization state. Except for that experience, all other experiences are in the domain of illusion. So if at all one of us travels that path and if we get all kinds of sights and smells and something, I just thought like this and this happened. I just did like this and this happened. Don't think that we have arrived. We are still in the process of arriving that way. So you're a journey without journeying. You don't journey anywhere. There's no traveling as such. It is just a weaning away of that which is false. Like the example that I keep giving about a sculptor who has a stone or a marble and he just chips off the unwanted part and the murti prakats itself, manifests itself, Ganeshji or Buddha or whatever, or Baba, or Baba. It just, so Baba's murti was not brought from something outside. It was already there. And in the journey, this is journey. Chipping off the unwanted part is the journey. So when that unwanted parts are chipped off, you are there. It just, that is why they say that spirituality is not, or spiritual development is not an accumulation or a gathering from outside. It is an unfoldment from within. We all are already God realized, in a sense. Why? Like Baba had explained to Elizabeth, I think it was Elizabeth. What is Elizabeth? Elizabeth is equal to God plus the Sauskaras. But because the Sauskaras are there, Elizabeth is not able to experience herself as God. The moment the Samskaras go, Elizabeth is equal to God. There's nothing to be brought from outside. So in other words, we already are that. But we have to become that through the chipping off of what we are not. The moment we chip off dhire dhire, neti neti veda pukare, I am not this, I am not that. All our bundle of desires, wants, cravings, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, pride, attachment, entanglements, egoism. When all that goes, what remains is God. So it is not a journeying. That's what Baba is saying. It's not that we journey somewhere to get something and make ourselves whole and complete. We are already whole and complete in the very first human form, together with the garbage of the impressions or samskaras. The succession of experiences that one goes through in the process of involution is called the spiritual path. Spiritual path starts from plane one, we all know, first plane of consciousness. There's somebody's mic. Oh, yeah, I think Ram Nori wants to speak. Please, Ram, go ahead.
I have a question for you. You just said when all the sanskaras are gone, God and I become one. But is that the truth? Because I was of the opinion that all the sanskaras are gone. Aim is to get God realization, but definitely you'll get moksha or mukti. But I'm not too sure if everybody gets God realization.
Okay, I got your point. In my limited understanding, Ram, if all your samskaras are gone, that means you are in a state of no mind. There is no mind. Because mind is the cubicle, mind is the container for all samskaras, and mind crucible. And when the mind goes, there are no samskaras, or rather when the samskaras goes, there are no mind. And in my understanding, yes, you do get God realization. And those who get God realization are already moksha or mukti. But there's a division that some people get God realization when there is not a single iota of samskaras, and they just pop off. Mostly they just leave their bodies at the point of God realization because the very purpose of that body has been accomplished with the removal of all the samskaras. Some people stay on, and then we all know there is this saliks are there, or the perfect masters are there, Brahmi Bhuts are there, Paramahamsas are there. We are not going into that area of talking, but If your question is, do all people get God realization if their samskaras are totally annihilated? My answer would be yes. They would be getting God realization. Unless you have read somewhere that no, they get moksha.
Yeah.
Because they are already moksha only. It's a moksha only. But the mukti that we talk about, the najat mukti or the ordinary mukti, like you and I, supposing we are fortunate enough to remember Baba when we are breathing our last and in our last breath, then Baba says that soul will achieve mukti, which is called najat mukti. And
Right. Right.
but that is an after death experience. That means Baba says even to 3 to 5 days after death, you will experience that mukti. And what does it mean? It means that you will experience infinite bliss eternally. Baba also goes on to say that it is not the state of God realization or perfection. By perfection, I mean either perfect ones or perfect master. Baba says that it is not that. That particular soul will only experience infinite bliss. Whereas those who have, after achieving mukti, they have remained in their body, then they are God realized. They will experience infinite power, infinite knowledge, and infinite bliss. This is my understanding.
See, I mean, I do agree to a large extent, but at the same time, if I see what's said in God speaks, there is something called ordinary mukti. So that it clearly says not everybody. I mean, the way you get it is as you said. I can take Baba's name, in my last with my last breath.
Right.
That's one way to get it. Other way to get it is complete the 8.4 million cycles. So when you at that point you're merged with the Lord. It doesn't mean that you have your God realized. So you have been absolved from any further birth and death cycles. That's what all it means.
Ram, sorry to interrupt. So far, I have not read anywhere in God's speech that after you finish your 8.4 lakhs, 84 lakhs, you automatically get realization whether your
I
samskara.
didn't say no. I didn't say realization.
Oh,
After eight
mukti,
point,
okay.
so
I beg your pardon.
see,
Even
mukti means
even
you're
I have not
absolved
read.
from the rebirth, the birth cycle.
I have not read. I have not read that.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
If you no, wait a second. If you can show me the reference, I would be very happy to be educated. But I have
right.
not read anywhere in God's speech where Baba is saying that after you complete your 84 lakhs,
Yeah.
whether you have sanskaras or not, you will automatically get mukti. I have not read that. Is that what you are saying? No.
After eight, see what is mukti means? Mukti doesn't mean not necessarily. There
From
are
the
many,
circle of
many,
births
many
and death.
yes,
From the circle of births and deaths. Correct.
exactly. But God speaks does say after 8.4 millions, your birth cycles are completed.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, it
If
is.
you can
I'll
come, I
find the
appreciate
page
it.
number. Yeah.
Thank you, dear. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
All right. So we continue with this. Ram, if at all in future when I don't see your hand, just speak up. Speak up.
Okay.
Because
All
sometimes
right.
my eyes are closed for the whole session.
That's all right. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just read the A Journey Without Journeying. The succession of experiences that one goes through in the process of involution is called the spiritual path. Baba uses the word involution. The path only begins with the first plane of consciousness. And the going through them is likened to a journey. That means you are journeying through the path. On one stage, you hear melodious sounds and music. That is what we are now using, not the gross ears, but the subtle ears to hear the subtle music, which enchants and overwhelms you. It is so enchanting, it casts a spell over us that we just want to continue to listen to such melodious music and overwhelms you. Overwhelm would be overpower you, crushes you, engulfs you. On another, that means on another plane, you see wonderful visions in which most often you get lost. And that is the you get so entranced, you get so attracted to this that you get lost into this. Such experiences are part and parcel of the great dream in illusion. Baba says that also is a dream. And Baba uses the capital G and capital D. That is why Baba at other places calls it a real dream. The experiences are so innumerable and varied that the journey appears to be interminable. You can't see the junction, you can't see the end of the journey, interminable, and the destination is ever out of sight. But the wonder of it is, when at last you reach your destination, you find that you had never traveled at all. It was a journey from year to year. The second year is capital H. That means it was a journey from unconscious divinity to conscious divinity. You enter the same spot from where you exit. You exit from what is called the creation point and you enter the same spot in the beyond state of God, but with a world of difference. When we exit, we have absolutely no consciousness, as good as unconsciousness, a very rudimentary consciousness in the stone state. And when we get back to the beyond state of God, we are with full consciousness. So this journey is from here, H-E-R-E, to capital H-E-R-E.
This journey after our samskaras are ended at
Correct.
the end of the
Okay. Soumya wants me to say that this journey on the spiritual path you undertake only after your gross samskaras are totally exhausted. Obviously, because once the gross samskaras are exhausted, the consciousness of the soul now focuses itself not on the gross but in the subtle. Although you live a gross life, you have a gross body, you eat, drink, sleep, talk, walk, everything, but your consciousness is in the subtle, which means the energy body, which is the subtle plane of consciousness. Correct? Okay. The journey seems infinitely long while you are passing through the dream experiences of reincarnation and the six planes of involution until you until you finally merge into yourself as self. In other words, this journey is not just starting from the first plane of consciousness, but the journey starts right from your creation in that sense, you are passing through the dream experiences of reincarnation and the six planes of involution. Baba is not using seventh plane of because the dream continues only up to the sixth plane of involution. In the seventh plane, you are awake. You are fully awake to your own self. I am God. Aham Brahmasmi. Until finally you merge into yourself and emerge as capital SELF, self. But the journey is, after all, no journey. It is simply, this is very beautifully said, it is simply the momentum of your urge to awaken from the dream. The journey is a momentum of your urge to awaken from the dream, just as how you chip off the unwanted part. It is a momentum. It is the urge, and there is a momentum, and you just let all the unwanted parts just fall off. I'll repeat this. It is simply the momentum of your urge to awaken from the dream and get established in the reality of the God state of infinite consciousness. To awaken means to consciously experience the sound sleep state of God. We've been doing this over and over again, that every single day we are merged with God actually, not as if something like, somewhat like, no, actually we merge in God every single day when we go to what is known as the sound sleep state. Dreamless state, sound sleep, deep sleep, where I am, but the consciousness that I am is not there. That state is the exact same state of the beyond God. In state one, Baba explains in God speak the Parat Par Brahma state. So we do go there, but we become one with God, but we are not conscious of it. So Baba says, if you become one with God in full consciousness, then that is God realization. So this is it. I've got one small sentence which is very beautiful. I remember having said this before. In 1962 in the East West gathering November, Baba gave out what is known as 21 points given out by Mayor Baba. In that, one of the points, point number 7, it's very, in a sense, interesting. To know God in his infinite contradictions. I repeat, to know God in his infinite contradictions is to become conscious of his consciousness, of his unconsciousness. I don't know if it's a very superb sentence where Baba says, to know God in his infinite contradictions is to become conscious. That means I should become conscious of his consciousness, of his unconsciousness. That means when Baba, God, is conscious of his unconsciousness, I should become conscious of his consciousness, of his consciousness, of his unconsciousness. That is God real. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So that is the meaning of God realization. In the fully awake state, like now, I experience the sound sleep state. It seemed like a dichotomy, but then that is what is expected out of us. Now we come to April Fool Day, 1st of April. 1st of April. This is the photograph of beloved Baba.
Cyrus, may I please ask a
Yes,
question?
yes, please go ahead.
Uh, could you please tell me, how would one understand consciousness of God, of its unconsciousness?
The point is, we can never understand the consciousness of God, of his unconsciousness. We can only experience that at the fag end of the journey. Because if you read God speak, the backside of God, God is not to be, understood.
Theorized.
God is not to be theorized. So in other words, no, if you ask me, how will you understand? You cannot understand. It is not a subject of understanding. It is a subject of being and becoming one with God. Only at that time when we experience that, we will be able to know everything. Rather, we will be able to know that there is nothing to be known. All this is just, I don't know, in a sense, it's just trying to know what is not to be known. I don't know if I'm making sense, Dilshad.
Cyrus, you are making sense, but
Thank you.
what always come back on this point is that we are trying to comprehend with our limited mind everything. If we want to comprehend whatever limitations we have in our gross body, we understand through some analogy, so through some explanation.
Right.
Now, when we are talking about contradictions here, God being conscious of his unconsciousness, what other contradictions could be there, and how closest can an analogy be?
So the point, okay. The point is that God is always conscious of his unconsciousness. Now, in order to know God or become God, we have to be conscious of his consciousness, of his unconsciousness. In other words, we can never do that unless and until we become him or we merge in him and we experience the I am God state. You getting what I'm saying?
Yes, Cyrus ji, but
beyond that, you cannot go. How can I?
Cyrus ji, does conscious God is unconscious also?
No, he is never unconscious. That's the beauty. Once you are fully conscious, I'm talking about God, that soul never gets into unconsciousness the way we go into unconsciousness.
So the sentence that you read out, Cyrus ji, is conscious. Is the sentence that you read out, which you said is a very profound sentence, is when one becomes conscious of the consciousness of God, of his unconsciousness.
Correct.
And then the contradictions.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That is why I laugh.
Can conscious God be ever unconscious? How is that possible?
No. He is never unconscious. He is conscious of his unconsciousness. See, God is unconscious in the beyond state, correct? So in the beyond state, he becomes so super conscious that he is even conscious of it, of his unconsciousness. You see what I'm saying? He never,
Yes.
he never.
So I get the answer. What I was trying to understand is that unconsciousness comes in the beyond state, and
Of course,
consciousness then
you
is the
never go
beyond.
back when you are God conscious. You never go back to that state at all. You just go only up to the beyond state of God.
Thank you.
You never go back to beyond state of God. We
Thank
people
you.
go
One
in the
last
beyond
question.
state of God every single day, but God conscious people never go to that state again.
Yeah.
In fact,
Okay.
Baba has said that if ever I were to become unconscious, you know, like how we become unconscious in our sound sleep state. If ever I were to become unconscious, the whole creation will flop, you know. It
It
will
will be a
just,
pralay. Yeah. It will
yeah,
be a
like,
pralay.
right,
So,
right.
Sarasji, one small question, last question.
I don't answer small questions. Ask.
Okay, then I will not ask.
Okay, go ahead.
What other contradictions besides this conscious of unconsciousness? Any other contradictions?
Not that I can think of. No.
Thank
It is
you.
a. This is a
Jai Mai Baba,
last.
Jai Mai Baba.
To have one eye glued on the enchanting pleasures of the flesh, and with the other expects to see a spark of eternal bliss is not only impossible but the height of hypocrisy. One should either be a crow or a swan, but not a heron, which is white on the outside but black on the inside. Also, always keep aloof from the riches and women of other men. Expect anything from me except these. Otherwise, the ceaseless chain of births and deaths will keep you enslaved continuously.
Someone's mic is on. Is it Ram? Your mic is on? Some.
Yeah, sorry.
No. All right. To have one eye glued to the enchanting pleasures of the flesh, and with the other expect to see a spark of eternal bliss, is not only impossible, but the height of hypocrisy. In other words, what Baba is trying to say, that's why Baba says, you know, that hold on to my daman with both hands. There could be many interpretations. One interpretation could be that if one hand slips, at least you are holding on to with both hands, so the other hand will, you know, hold on to Baba's down. The other, sorry, there's some noise coming in. Shyam Sundarji, thank you, sir. The other interpretation could be that if you want God, you must want God alone. You cannot hold on to Baba's daman with one hand and with the other you hold on to the daman of materialistic tendencies or Maya. You cannot do that. So that is what I feel Baba is trying to say. That on one eye you are glued to the pleasures, enchanting pleasures of the flesh, of the senses. And with the other eye, you want to see a spark of eternal bliss. Eternal bliss is very high. If you want to see that, you want to achieve that, you want to become one with that, it is not only impossible, but the height of hypocrisy. So again, the next sentence again is concerning with hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is something which Baba had said that it is very difficult or rather impossible for even God to forgive. For a simple reason that hypocrite does not even, you know, admit that he is a hypocrite. So here Baba says that one should either be a crow, which is black, all black, or a swan, which is all white, but not a heron. Heron is you know, generally heron there are
Birds.
like
The
cranes. No, it's a bird, but there are that one long-legged you know, birds where they have got two shades, reversible coat, like a reversible coat. You know that on the outside it is something, on the inside it is something, which is white on the outside but black on the inside. So, in other words, he wants us to be honest to ourselves. He wants us to project outside what we are within. And I feel basically this is Baba's focus is on the so-called pseudo saints, the people who project themselves as spiritually advanced, as saintly people, and in that so-called projection, they dupe people, they take people for a ride and all that. So that is hypocrisy. Also, always keep aloof from the riches and women of other men. So as we say, the three vices, we call it wine, women, and wealth. So keep away from such things. Expect anything from me except these. In other words, don't expect that Baba would give you these, right? Otherwise, the ceaseless chains of births and deaths will keep you enslaved continuously. I don't think that requires any particular explanation. In other words, Baba is asking us to be honest and not be a hypocrite and have no eye on the wealth of women of other men. But that goes equally for women as well. Now we are on April 2. Now we are on April 2. This is the photograph, April 2.
The modern era is steeped in restlessness as man is tossed between conflicting ideas,
Ideals.
ideals,
Right.
like mounds in a sandy desert. Intellectual knowledge is mounting up without provision for the expression of the heart, which is so vitally necessary to quench the need of the spirit. It is lack of this that has checkmated man's achievements in spite of himself and his enormous advancements in the field of science. Unhappiness and insecurity, emotional or otherwise, are the dominant notes of the age, and mankind is engulfed in the darkness of wars, hate, and fear. Yet I say, have hope.
So here what Baba is trying to say, in my interpretation, would be that in spite of such advancement of science, leaps and bounds, unimaginable in the last maybe 100 years, it is supposed to give us more time to devote to ourselves within. It is supposed to give us time to introspect and ask ourselves, what are we here for? What am I doing? Where am I supposed to go? Rather than giving us more time, we all will agree to that. It is occupying our more time. The conveniences are there. The comforts are there. It should give us more health. Instead of that, it is diminishing our health. So with every advancement, because everything that science is looking after is only materialistic. Instead of using these advancements for our own personal growth so that we can use more time for our own personal growth, we are getting we are sucked into the scientific advancement, and we find ourselves the helpless victim of all this. This is how I would interpret in a nutshell. The modern era is steeped in restlessness. As we advance, we are supposed to have calm, calmness, tranquility, stability, one pointedness, enough time for our family, enough time for ourselves. That's not happening. It is making us restless. It is making us jump from here to there, here and there. The modern era is steeped in restlessness as man is tossed between conflicting ideals. We have become so, what should I say? You see WhatsApp, you see Twitter, you see emails. There are conflicting ideas which are being given. Something which was, I think in the last meeting only I had said, something which was supposed to be unhealthy, like the yolk of the egg, for several years, have all of a sudden become healthy. Something which was supposed to be healthy, like the skin of the almond when you soak it in water, has suddenly become unhealthy. and the water has become unhealthy. You're not supposed to drink the water. Coconut oil was supposed branded like a what should I say, villain in heart diseases, is now supposed to be very good for heart. So all there are conflicting ideas, and every few years science is feeding us so many things, and we blindly follow it without application of the mind. Rather than application of the mind, we should have application of the being. I would put it that way. I am eating this. Am I feeling nice about it? If I am feeling nice about it, good, continue. There are so many, like milk, for example. At one time, milk was supposed to be given as A grade food. Even Baba, in his literature, has given the top marks for milk. Even for that matter, for those who are Zoroastrians, they know that when Zarthos Paigambar Sahib went to that Ushidhara in a pahad, he only took one goat, Bakri, and he lived for some days, 40 days or whatever, only on milk of the goat. So milk was supposed to be A class. Today, milk has become a white poison, a killer number one, because the milk that we get is not milk at all. I'm just digressing a little bit. People have done the research where they say that X number of liters are being milked every day, but now you are having the production of milk 10 times that milk, the milk product. Sorry, the production of sales. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. The sale of the milk is 10 times more than the production. So where are you getting the milk from? It's all made from all kinds of stuff, and we see all this. So what I'm trying to say, we get enmeshed in conflicting ideas, and we start believing in whosoever, whatsoever is given to us on a platter, on all these platters. We feel that this is correct, whereas maybe 80, maybe more than 80, 90% of all the stuff is all bunkum. People just create. Sorry. Okay, Soumya says we do not rely on our body's intelligence as to what is good for us, what is suiting us. How should I conduct my life, which will give me sukoon, peace of mind, tranquility, calmness, energy, and all the enthusiasm, all the positive things. So we run after what we are led into. So here Baba says that it becomes restless as man is tossed between conflicting ideals. Like mounds in a sandy desert. In a sandy desert, you get this like a mound, small mound. In a sandy desert, intellectual knowledge is mounting up without provision for the expression of the heart, which is so vitally necessary to quench the need of the spirit. We must understand that we are spiritual beings having a human or a physical or a materialistic experience. We are not a physical body having a spirit. We are spiritual beings having a bodily experience. So the emphasis has to be on spirits. What is quenching my spirit's requirement is to be given importance. Instead of that, we keep on absorbing, accumulating all kinds of knowledge which may have no reference to me. There are so many things happening in the solar system, and so much of knowledge is there. But how does it relate to me from a point of view of intellectual gymnastics, or intellectually discussing and debating with somebody in a party or in some group? That's fine. That is okay. You keep yourself updated, so you are not left out that way. But other than that, how does it help quench the spirit's requirement? So Baba says that this knowledge is mounting up without provision for the expression of the heart, which is so vitally necessary to quench the need of the spirit. It is lack of this that has checkmated man's achievement. Man is unable to move. Checkmate, we know when we play chess. In the last move we say checkmate. That means the game is over. The whole purpose of our coming in this human form on earth is lost if we get lost into all these things. So Baba says that it is lack of this that has checkmated man's achievements in spite of himself and his enormous advancement in the fields of science. In the fields of science, we have advanced, but then that joy, that happiness, that calmness, that restfulness is not coming. Even when we are talking about how science is saying, even now, the blood pressure, the systolic and the diastolic, they say, 120/80 was one time for a very long time. Now they say, no, it's not 120/80, now it is about 40/90. Same way with cholesterol. The main cholesterol, we say at one time it was 200. Now they say, sorry, the parameters, yeah. So it was at 200. About 200 means it is something you have to do something about it. Now it becomes 250. So in other words, everything is changing and we are just dancing to the tune of science, which itself is so imperfect in a sense. Unhappiness and insecurity, emotional or otherwise, are the dominant notes of the age. That means everybody is feeling unhappiness, they feel insecure, and they are emotional or otherwise, they become a dominant note. That means that is what everyone feels. And mankind is engulfed in the darkness of wars, hate, and fear. Yet I say, have hope. Baba has always been absolutely positive. I would say incorrigibly positive about everything because he is the author of what is known as the book called Creation, and he has created. So he knows what is going to be the end, and therefore he says, have hope. The only way we can sail through all these things is to hold on to Baba's Daman, is to keep remembering that all this is just an illusion, it is not a reality, to keep on thinking that so-called negativity, like wars and hates and fears and whatever that is happening out in the world, should only force us to focus more and more on Baba and not to be sucked into all these things. They are there. There's no denial. There's no denying that it's there. But are we needed to be sucked into all these things? So reading of Baba's literature to a very great extent helps us to stabilize ourselves in the truth of remembering Baba, of holding on to Baba's Daman, rather than being sucked into all these aspects of illusion. We still have 6 minutes. Yeah. No, I wouldn't like to grow. Sorry. Yeah, we still have 6 minutes. Yeah, we can move on. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. This is the photograph again. That means it must be I think it was the same photograph last time. That means it's a continuing message.
Selfishness and lust for power tends to drag man towards brutality, which he has inherited from his evolutionary ancestry or
Dinesh, sorry.
acquired
So Dinesh ji, your mic is on, please. Dinesh
dur-
bhai. Dinesh bhai has gone to sleep. Anyway, okay.
during erroneous searching through his incarnations. But there is within man the inextinguishable light of truth because he is essentially divine in origin and being. Those who cleanse their heart of the embittering poison of selfishness, hate, and greed shall find God as their own true self. When you find and realize God, the problem of selfishness and its numerous expressions melts away like mist before the sun. In God and as God, all life reveals itself as being really one and indivisible.
All right. Selfishness, I would say, Baba says, and I'm just repeating, is the root cause of all suffering, all problems, everything. You see anything. You see lust, you see greed, you see jealousy, you see anger, you see pride, you see attachment, whatever. Selfishness. Why? Because of wrong thinking. Why? Because I think this is I and this is you, and I should get more and you should get nothing, or you should get very much less, because I want to appease myself. I want to make myself happy, and that is selfishness. Right? Selfishness and lust for power tend to drag man towards brutality, savage cruelty, which he has inherited from his evolutionary ancestry. Evolutionary ancestry, we were animals, we were tigers, lions, all, and we had that brutality. So there it is, might is right. We cannot be sitting over there, somebody giving me, if I'm a tiger, somebody will bring a leg of a lamb to eat on a platter, on a plate, and say, eat this. It may happen in circus, yeah, or in zoo, but otherwise, no. So this is our evolutionary ancestry, inherited from the evolutionary ancestry or acquired during erroneous searching through this through his incarnation. That means even in this incarnation, one is the hereditary heirloom which I got from my animal kingdom, and the other thing is because of my false thinking, because of my erroneous searching. I am searching something wrong. I am searching something false. Whereas Baba says real happiness lies in making others happy. Baba says true happiness begins to come when a man learns the art of right adjustment to other people. And right adjustment involves self-forgetfulness and love. That means true happiness comes by giving others happiness. But instead of that, we are only trying to have happiness to myself. And that, you can say, ironically, I am wanting happiness and I am suffering. I am giving happiness and I am becoming happy. So that is how the game is played. So here Baba said you can either inherit through your past incarnations, animal kingdom, or you can inherit, or you can get it now in this as a human being through erroneous searching, because I am searching something which is of no relevance at all to what I am here for. I am here for a particular reason. I am here to utilize my samskaras and not to accumulate more samskaras, so that at the end of the period, the game, I am able to merge with truth, reality, Baba. That is my sole purpose. That is why Baba says the aim of God is to love God. Sorry? I'm sorry. Thank you. The aim of life is to love God, and the goal of life is to become one with God. Everything else has no meaning at all. But we give meaning to that everything else, and then we say, why am I suffering? What's happening to me? Where is God? Why is doing this thing to me? And all that. Okay. But there is within man the inextinguishable light of truth, because he is essentially divine in origin and being. That is why we say, Baba has put a chip, or what is it? Okay. Microchip. Okay. Microchip of divinity in each one of us. And I keep repeating this. Water has the tendency to flow down. You take water anywhere up in the sky, in an aeroplane, and pour it, it will come down. It has a tendency. Fire has the tendency of going up. You light a fire in, say, 1,000 feet underground, it will still go up. Why? Because water is connected with ocean, fire is connected with the sun. In the same way, we, irrespective of how depraved we are, what all bad things I have done, sinful, whatever that you call it, still that chip will not allow me to stay like this. That chip will somehow manage to take me to divinity. So that is what Baba is saying to say. But there is within men the inextinguishable, cannot be extinguished, cannot be done away with, light of truth, because he is essentially divine in origin and being. So we will ultimately search and find the truth. Those who cleanse their heart of the embittering, hateful, bitter, hostile, poison of selfishness. Selfishness is a poison. Hate and greed shall find God as their own true self. So our job is to remove this selfishness from all our being. When you find and realize God, the problem of selfishness and its numerous expressions, same thing, hatred, anger, greed, lust, melts away. It will melt like mist before the sun. The moment sun comes, the mist is melted. In God and as God, all life reveals itself as being really one and indivisible. Once you become one with God, we realize that all life is one. There is unity, spiritual unity of everything and everyone in existence. So here we finish April 3. Is there anything to ask or we close?
Um, before you close,
Yes, please.
I just wanted to give you the reference, you for what I
Yes.
said earlier.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So do read, second paragraph on page 155 of
Okay.
God Speaks,
Uh,
and also page number 243 of God Speaks.
Okay, can I request? I don't mind going a little 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes more. Because so that we are done with today itself. Can you read it up for me, please?
Okay.
Can you
I
read?
I don't want to bore your audiences with it, but I can read
No,
it.
no, no. If the audience is bored, they can always switch off. No? So why I'm saying it? Because
Yeah.
this is the audience who have
Right.
already heard one part of the story. So
Right.
let's complete the thought. And it
Okay.
doesn't matter if we take 5 minutes more. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the second paragraph on page 155.
Yes.
However, in order to loosen the bindings through the opposite experiences of duality of illusion,
Hmm.
that is pain and pleasure, good and bad, man and woman, strong and weak, etc., on his own, man has to remain conscious of multifarious experiences for 84 lakhs of times
Hmm.
through something like 50 crores of sleep of death.
Okay.
Yet invariably on account of all on account of the all-pervading grace of God, man becomes subtle and mental conscious and is thus able to cut short more or less the stalemate of recurring physical births and deaths.
Correct. But that means the grace of God is required. That's what I said. Automatically, it doesn't happen. The
Yeah.
grace of God is very much an important ingredient in getting either moksha, mukti, liberation, or God realization.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I'm
God,
saying. It doesn't become
Okay.
automatic. Okay, now this is my 84th lakh, whatever the last birth. So automatically I will become realized. No, that's what I was trying to.
see, so what I'm saying is you won't get God realization, but after 84 lakhs cycles, what happens? You're not taking birth again, ever again. You will not.
That is what I'm saying. No, it is not written like that. Even when you read just now, the important ingredient is the grace of God. It's not automatic. What I'm trying to say is, it is not automatic. Whether
It cut short by the grace of God. So what it means?
Exactly.
So what it means is, you don't have to. You can get mukti before 84 lakh cycles over.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what that is with the grace of the God.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I mean, I don't want to debate. I mean,
No. I never debate. I never do.
Yeah.
We are all trying to
So-
learn from each other.
Right.
But my only point was, it is not automatic. So that is what you confirm, that you need the grace of God. It may be 84 lakhs or it may be in the very first birth. It can happen, but the grace of God is an important ingredient in achieving both. Either it is mukti or God realization.
Yeah.
But
See,
then
God,
I really appreciate your quick, I really appreciate your quick, what should I say, indexing of reference. Very good.
yeah. So, and even please do read page number 243.
Yeah,
which
please
is
do.
part of, huh?
Yeah, please do that. Please do that.
So that is about ordinary page number 243.
Yes, please.
So page number 243, there is a section. Where is 243? 242.
After 242.
The 4 types of mukti or liberation.
Correct.
So it is part of appendix. Certain
Yeah.
well-known terms to describe various types of perfections are stated here briefly so that the seekers may fit them into the framework of their subject of God realization. So there is a framework of God realization in this, and all these things fit in.
Right.
In describing these types of perfection, the key word mukti, which literally means the liberation, and is used here to define 4 types of liberation. There are 4 types of them.
I know.
So they are ordinary mukti, Vidya mukti, Jiva mukti, and Parama mukti. So I'm just going to read the first one, which is the ordinary mukti.
That's what we are basically concerned with. Yes.
Right, right. So ordinary mukti in a najat is achieved only after death by some exceptionally God-fearing, truth-loving, good souls. And this mukti usually comes 3 to 5 days after the soul has left the body. Yeah. Since the mukti is attained without the body, the individual soul enjoys only the bliss.
Agreed.
Anand. Although power and knowledge are there, such a mukti cannot experience them.
Correct.
Such a liberated soul is conscious only of the bliss of union.
Agreed.
And for him, creation no longer exists, thereby bringing into an end to constant round of births and deaths.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
You are repeating what I said only. I said the same thing, but only thing where we, in a sense, differed was that I think you've thought and you still feel that on the 84th leg, the last of the 84 legs, you automatically get, whereas I said nothing gets automatically.
No, after 84, you get the birth cycles are gone. And what you're not going to come back after 84 lakhs.
Okay. Now we're getting into a debate. Okay. Yeah. I have to answer Mayor Daruwan also. She has been waving her hand for a long time.
Okay.
But anyway, I think we are on the same page to a very great extent. Yeah. Except that I feel that it is not automatic. You need the most important ingredient of Baba's grace.
I mean, anything is without grace,
right.
You won't even get anything.
Absolutely.
The very fact you're born is His grace. The
very right.
Even you die, even before you attain mukti, is His grace. Everything is His grace. That's a constant thing.
Okay.
Constant factor.
Okay. Can I switch to Mayor now? Mayor,
you have a question.
Yeah. Cyrus uncle, this what you were saying today, as many things had been read in the book when in the when we had that lockdown time, in the corona time, we were reading a book.
Yeah.
Everything is quite in that book.
Because see, the point is this calendar is extracted from the book only. So there is definitely going to be some duplication, but that is fine. Repetition is very good for us. Okay.
Thank you. Because I'm just saying it is from the book, the same things are in that book.
Yes. I agree. All right. There's somebody who wants to speak. It says iPhone.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, sir. Jai Baba.
Even to reach up to that 84 lakh mark requires His grace. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Samuel. So I got to know today you are using iPhone. Very good.
iPhone, my phone, my phone, all phones.
Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai Baba. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.